So recently, Kamala Harris got into a lot of controversy because she laughed off the claims that she was the most, air quotes, liberal senator in the Congress on a 60 Minutes interview. So the lady references GovTrack, a nonpartisan ranking website. So I wanted to look at the methodology, particularly related to the ideology category, which ranked Kamala Harris as the most liberal candidate. So why don't we just give this a quick read here? I promise it'll be good. Okay. So mind you, this is the thing that was referenced in the 60 Minutes interview. This is the big piece of evidence that Kamala Harris is the most liberal senator, even more liberal than Bernie Sanders. Okay, so I'm going to read the methodology here. Let's skip to the fun part. Okay, here's how it works. Form a matrix, a grid of numbers, with columns representing members of Congress and rows also representing members of Congress. Do this for the House and Senate separately. We include co-sponsorship from the current and previous two Congresses, so between 4 and 6 years of data. Okay, so there are some glaring issues with this methodology. First, you never write a methodology like it's a fucking recipe. Okay? So you don't say, here's how it works. You don't tell people to form a matrix. This is not how methodologies work. Methodologies are not written in second person as we get later on down here. What is it? There's a part where they tell you to do something. Yeah, here we go. For the Senate, you have a 100 by 100 table. Okay, I have that. I didn't do the research. I don't have that. That doesn't exist to me. This is what you did. So generally in research, you either write things, you say like 5 milliliters of oil was added to some substance. You either write things from a distance perspective of one thing was done to another thing, or you say, we did this thing. We had participants sit down in front of a computer about 3 meters away and try to read across a line of letters that was altering this way and that way. And then another group read them altering this. Like, you write a methodology so that people can understand what you did, and then they can generally recreate the study. But what I see here is people who don't know what research is. And what they did is that they listened to their professor. And the professor will tell you in any research classes that your methodology should be written in such a way that the study could be recreated. So that's what they literally did here. They literally wrote out recipe instructions on how to do what they did. And this is not how you write a methodology. This is like a fucking toddler. This is this line right here. Then compute the singular value decomposition of the matrix, which is how principal components analysis is often done. Like, this is like, excuse me? Okay. What is, why? This is utterly irrelevant information. If you presented this methodology to any scientific journal, they would fucking laugh at you. And they would tell you to go fucking work a job doing anything else. Like, this is retarded. But it gets better. It actually gets better. Okay, so here we go. The last part of the methodology, they saved the best for last. Here we go. The analysis is blind to actual information, like what the legislation is about, or what party each member of Congress is affiliated. In fact, there's no guarantee that the scores have anything to do with liberal or conservativeness or any other standard frame of political ideology. All it tells us is how to spread members of Congress out along the spectrum in a way that explains their record of co-sponsorship. Now here's the true best for last. But in practice, it captures left-right ideology very well. Okay. You have to justify that statement. How can you tell me how your methodology does not yield information relevant to political ideology? Now, mind you, this is the methodology for their ideology analysis. And they're telling us here that it doesn't actually do the thing that it's supposed to do. But it does it anyway. But how? How is it possible? I mean, I think generally any person can see that Kamala Harris probably isn't the most liberal. I mean, the problem with this website is that it's just fucking wrong and it's using the wrong terms for the wrong things. Like, there's a difference between liberal and leftist, okay? So it probably is true that Kamala is more liberal than, let's say, Bernie Sanders, but she is not more of a leftist than Bernie Sanders. But the problem is that we have a very binary framework of political ideology that literally only goes one of two ways, left or right. And it doesn't demarcate the regions as neoliberal, conservative, neoconservative, liberal, or leftist, or alt-right lunatic. It doesn't have any of that. And in fact, it's fucking worthless. So my conclusion is that when Kamala Harris laughed at that lady who asked if she would have a liberal, progressive, whatever perspective, and that she was the most progressive candidate, I think she should have laughed harder. And I think that lefty cucks who are mad at her for laughing about such an accusation and trying to distance herself from the socialist claims, I think those people are truly fucking stupid. Like, you need to actually read things to know things. And just taking a 2-second tweet clip, a 1 minute, out of context segment, and forming your understanding of politics from that will mean that you're always fucking stupid. And these are all comments directed directly at Kyle Klinsky. You are literally the Donald Trump of the left, and I hope you get cancer and die. Okay, thanks for listening.